What's happening YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about budgeting and in particular aiming at those people that live paycheck to paycheck. Now what is living paycheck to paycheck? In simple terms, it's those people that earn a paycheck, so money comes in, salary on day one, and they then spend that money until the next paycheck comes in. So essentially they receive salary, just say £1,000, and then it's a race to get that £1,000 down to zero over the next 30 days until the account gets topped up again. Now, why is that bad? The reason it's bad is because these guys that live paycheck to paycheck don't have the means to save. They don't have the means to budget. They don't have the means to invest. And it is a case of they're just working to live. They're working to keep the lights on. They're working to eat. They're not actually investing in their future and saving for their future. Now this video is going to be a bit of a rant because I was actually very surprised to find out that a lot of people live like this, more than I actually expected. A lot of close friends, especially, and colleagues that I've spoken to have said, yeah, I get my salary in, I don't know where the money goes, and then for the last sort of couple of days I don't have any money in the account for emergencies or whatever it may be, and it's just a wait until that salary comes back in. Now that was really scary for me, so I thought I'd do this video to address the issue, and for anyone that actually does live paycheck to paycheck, what it is that you can do. Now the problem with paycheck to paycheck people is they have a lot of outgoings, so the money that they're making has already been indirectly given to their debtors, so people that they owe money to. So they receive a salary, they've got a car on finance, that money goes to the car finance company. They've got rent to pay, that goes to the rent company. They've got other subscriptions for Netflix or whatever it may be, and their usual coffees and eating out and going to the pub and going to the bars and all the rest of it. And then they just spend, and then they're left with nothing by the end of the month, or even a few days to a week before the end of the month, before the next paycheck comes in, and then they've got no money at all. So how do you actually address that problem? Now, the main issue with people that live paycheck to paycheck is that they just don't budget. You need to budget. It does sound very mathematical, it does sound very sort of nerdy, it does sound very boring, and that's because it is. It's not a fun task, but it doesn't actually take that long. It doesn't take any major skill. You don't need to know algebra and trigonometry in order to budget. It is very simple math. And the whole idea is to budget before that money actually hits your bank account. Because once that money hits your bank account, you don't know where it's going. Your direct debits are already set up, so these banks will automatically take money out your account. And then you've got that plastic card that you're just using contactless absolutely everywhere, not knowing how much is going and where it's going. And you'll be surprised to find that although you might think, oh, it's just one coffee a week or two coffees a week, it adds up to quite a substantial amount. And unless you do a budget, you won't actually be able to see how much you're spending on eating out and coffees and going to the bar and going to the cinema, etc, etc. The other thing is, by doing a budget, you get to actually see a lot of payments that you maybe weren't aware of. So you might actually see that, oh, I actually subscribe to this streaming platform that I haven't watched in 6 months, but I've still been paying for it for 6 months. That'll come up on the budget. Then you can get on the phone and actually cancel that down, putting money back into your pocket. And the same goes for people that have a gym membership. You might have been in a phase where you're just like, new year, new me, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm gonna stick at it. And then you do that for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then you just totally forget about it and you don't go. But you're still paying for that month or month in. Now, doing a budget again will show that, and then you might actually look at it and say, oh, I didn't even know I had that gym membership, or I maybe forgot to cancel it, but I have been paying 50 or 60 or 70 pounds per month for the past 6 months, and I haven't even stepped foot into that place. And that gives you the opportunity to then get on the phone, cancel that down, and put that money back into your pocket. So that's why it is very important to budget. All you're doing is, before you receive that paycheck, you're giving every pound that you've received a destination. So if you receive £1,000 and your car payment's £250, then you chuck that into the budget and say, right, okay, £250 is going towards my car. Now my rent is 500. Then you're like, right, okay, I've paid for my car, I've paid for my rent, and this is all I have to survive on. That leaves you with £250. Now, depending on your circumstances, you might just be a student, you might be at home, you might have you might be living with someone that contributes as well, so you have that income. But you know, I've got £250 to spend, and all of that £250, it's then up to you to decide how much of it that you want to save. I actually want to save £100. I'll put that aside, and then I've got £150 to spend on absolutely anything I want. And then all you do is put that £100, send it to another savings sort of account, and then you've got £150 on your debit card that you can go crazy and do contactless as much as you want, knowing that you've got money there and you've done a bit of saving as well. You could also look at how much you've actually got left and use that money towards investing. So for example, if you've got £250 left, you might be like, you know what, I will put £50 towards saving, £50 towards investing, and that leaves me with £150 to spend for the month. Now again, depending on your circumstances, that just might not be much. The other thing that a budget will actually help with is not just identifying what you're spending a lot of money on, but it might actually be an income problem. So you might actually look and be like, okay, I can't do anything about my rent payment. This is the cheapest rent. This is the cheapest flat I found in the city next to my work. I can't sort of cut my trains or my buses or my car payment to get to work. I can't cut my phone bill. I can't cut this. I can't cut that. So your outgoings, you've done as much as you can to actually decrease that. And then you'll look at it and be like, I actually don't make enough money. So it's basically your top line, it's your income that's the problem. And then you can actually look at increasing your income or taking a second job or asking for more hours or whatever it may be. But the budget will actually highlight that. So for people that are living paycheck to paycheck, the main thing you need to do is budget. And the easiest way to do that is a piece of paper, a pen, and just write how much it is that you're making that month and how much is going out or anticipated to go out the following month. You need to know exactly what you're spending your money on each month, and you need to budget for that. So if you know, okay, I need £100 for electricity, that needs to be in the budget. All your sort of coffees and eating out and cinema and all sort of the fun and leisurely stuff, that doesn't really need to be accounted for in the budget because it's not really a priority. A priority is feeding yourself, keeping the lights on, paying your rent or paying your mortgage, paying for your car, because if you don't prioritize those things, then you could be foreclosed on, you could get your house taken off you, you could get evicted from the flat, you might get your car repossessed, you won't be able to eat, you won't be able to keep the lights on. So when you're doing your budget, at the top of the list should be all your priorities that you know, right, okay, these are the payments that I need to get out and I need to pay them. Then whatever you're left with is basically for you to do whatever you want, and you know all your bills are covered, you've got no worries, and then you can spend whatever you've got left on all your leisurely activities. Now, looking at the budget, you may have actually increased your hours, meaning that you've got a bigger pot at the end to spend on leisurely things. Or you might actually think, you know what, I actually don't earn enough to have 4 different subscriptions or to have this car or to be eating out all the time. I actually need to start meal prepping and making my food at home and taking it into work with me. That'll save me £30 or £40, and that £30 or £40 that I save, I can actually invest that, or I can put it away for a rainy day. So that's just a quick video about people that are living paycheck to paycheck. It's not sustainable at all. A lot of people live like this. When you get paid, cover off your priorities, and then whatever you've got left, save a little bit, invest a little bit, and spend a little bit as well. I'm not saying go completely cold turkey and don't have fun at all. You can have fun, but a lot of people just focus on that. So as soon as they get paid, it's a case of, I'm going to treat myself to a new top. I'm going to treat myself to a coffee. I'm going to eat out tonight. I'm going to go to the bar tonight. I'm going to go to the club tonight. And then before they know it, they've spent way over that they're supposed to be. And then later on in the month, they've not got money to eat, or they've not got money for electricity, or they're worried about paying their rent or their mortgage or their car or any other financial product that they're involved in, and that is just worrying. So this was just a quick video just to cover off why living paycheck to paycheck isn't sustainable, what you can do to tackle it, You mean a simple pen and paper, or you could just do an Excel spreadsheet. When I was a student, I was spending like crazy. I didn't have a tab on anything. And then one day it came, I couldn't afford to get a train to university. And I was just like, that's enough. I should have money. I should have budgeted for this. And then all I did was a simple Excel spreadsheet. I knew what was coming in, and then I budgeted the important things. So it wasn't my coffee or the fact that I needed new jeans. It was budgeting for my train tickets to get to university. They were a priority. I put that money aside, so for the rest of the month I didn't need to worry about getting to and from university. That money was already in the budget, it was already allocated, so it was a lot of stress off my head and off my shoulders. And it just makes managing your money a lot easier, and it'll give you a bigger picture of how much you're actually earning, and if that's enough to actually live, or if it's just a spending problem and you're actually earning good money but you've got nothing to show for it. All that money is just going to sort of Uber Eats and Deliveroo and Just Eat, and you'll be able to see the problems and highlight the problems and actually address the problems. That's why a budget is very important. And like I said, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. A bit of paper, pen, or have a little diary, and you could just do month by month. Or the easiest way is, everyone's got a phone, everyone's got notes, everyone's got a computer, everyone's got Excel. You should just be able to do a budget online, just showing what your income is, what your outgoings are, and then as time progresses, your budget will get better and better. Because as I said, you might actually identify things that you can actually get rid of in the budget, or you might actually see that you're not earning enough to keep up with your payments, so you actually need to increase your hours or whatever it may be. And then, and 6 months down the line, you'll look at your budget and you actually realize that I've actually got a good income and I was just spending on stupid things. I was spending way too much money on eating out, or way too much money on going to the bar or clubs, or I had a lot of subscriptions for things I wasn't using. So the budget highlights that and you were able to address it. And again, I'm hoping this helps at least one person who is living paycheck to paycheck. But even if you're not, budgeting isn't a bad thing. It's a very quick thing, and it'll just keep a lot of stress off your head. It just means that you know where your money's going, you're in control of your finances, and if anything emergency was ever to happen, you've already budgeted for that. You've already put 50 or £100 aside every month, and that money is towards your rainy day fund. So if an emergency was to come, that's all covered, and it's just in a much better place to be than worrying about it and having to get into debt or take on a payday lender or whatever it may be. So again, guys, thank you for watching, and if there's any other topic on finance that you want me to cover, you can drop it on the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.